The postseason comes down to one thing, and that's stamina. The reason why the Timberwolves lost is because they lack stamina.
I've never played this deep into a basketball season. So now I know, like, okay, in order for me to be able to be dominant, I got to train like I'm going to go to the playoffs. So
that's what this really was about. They didn't have enough gas in the tank to push through, even knowing that they had an insurmountable deficit to overcome. When you have that, that adds even more stress, even more pressure, and even more work on top of your own thought process of how are we going to overcome this? Yeah, you could say one game at a time, blah, blah, blah. But if you have not been built for this, there's no way you're going to come back. There's just no way.
I've never played this deep into a basketball season.
You would have had to have been training already for this type of scenario.
I got to train like I'm going to go to the playoffs. So,
and if you were ill prepared for this type of scenario, it's just a learning experience. There's really nothing they can do about it. All they have to do now is just be like, okay, what happened? And when you think about what happened, it simply was we didn't have enough. Because they're a good team. They could play good. They just didn't have enough. And that's what it really boiled down to. Because you can see that in the first 3 games, why they lost at the very end of it, because they didn't have enough. Then you can see it really in this last game. They were already burnt. Like, there was a back and forth for a little bit, but they couldn't last really through the first quarter. After that, you can tell everybody was gassed. And Edwards pushed himself a little bit, but for the most part, everybody was gassed. Everybody was tired. Everybody was demoralized. They just weren't ready for everything. And you can tell when somebody's really tired when they just crying.
Close out a series. Nets in front of the Mavericks, driving inside.
Bro, just cut all of that crying out. Ref, that's a foul. Oh, foul, foul. Calling all of that. Just play the game. You was calling out, oh, that should be a foul. Y'all down 30. Don't nobody care, bro. So just to be 100 with you. Kyrie and Luka locked in. They're completely locked in. Kyrie's stamina and him being older than Edwards is on a completely different level. It's on a completely different level. His speed and stamina is on a completely different level, and that was very evident. And this man is much older than Edwards. So Edwards, what he has to do now, when he go back home and he try and figure out, okay, what happened? You need to take care of yourself, bro. You have to really, really think about what you're eating, what your training regimen is, and how you can become better. Just your diet alone is going to significantly enhance you. So that's something that you should really be hyper focused on. Be focused on your diet, but then also look for different ways to train like nobody else has been training, or try to go outside the box with your training, because that's the only way you gonna separate yourself. That's the only way you're gonna separate yourself. You'll still be a fantastic player, but if you don't do that and practice over time for these particular scenarios, which is building stamina for yourself, you are going to run into the same exact situation the next year. So if you want to overcome that, this is what you need to do. Work on your stamina, work on your training regimen, and focus on the diet. That is incredibly important, because that's going to keep the machine running the best way possible. Okay, because Kyrie shouldn't be running you all over the place like that. Luka shouldn't be just dropping threes from the logo all over the place like that, okay? But they're built to last, and Luka plays slow. I'm not saying that he got more stamina than you because he be running all over the place, but he play his game, and that's what you got to figure out. You got to figure out a rhythm of your game. How do you best enhance and optimize your personal self? Your personal game, your uniqueness. How do you optimize that to the highest of its ability? Because that's what's going to get you over the hump. But yeah, I knew this was going to happen. That's why I put up this.
see you around, kid.
I was like, Kyrie and Luka are locked in. Kai Windu and Luka Skywalker, they locked in, man. They completely locked in. It has everything to do with your mindset. When you're being defeated over and over and over and over again in life, you have to think outside the box. You got to figure out, okay, what am I doing wrong? How can I get better? How can I last longer? Because this life is straight marathon. How can I last longer? How can I actually do something that gives me an edge? Not what somebody else's edge is, not what they're telling you the edge is. Looking internally and being like, what is my gift? How can I give my gift the best optimization possible? And that is what's going to get you where you want to go. Mindset. Mindset matters more than anything else. What your mind is set on will dictate your future. Focus on potential, because that is what you are.